Hello guys and welcome back to Financial Flagship. My name is Alex and today I'm going to be your host for the weekly market analysis. Hope all of you had a nice trading week last week. We didn't trade that much because it was mainly a correction week. We had been waiting on some moves to occur, but they didn't as the market corrected. So we'll see what opportunities we'll have this week. So speaking of, let's start off with the DXY. As you can see, last week we were expecting the price to make a consolidation here and then make one more move towards the upside. It did, but then started to make a deeper consolidation. So if we delete these arrows here, you're going to see what I'm talking about. So as it stands, we reached this bottom 2 weeks ago, then the price started to move back up, and now it's making a deeper pullback. My expectation is that if this is a corrective structure, then the price should come back up and retest these levels, break this top, retest these levels. If not, if you don't get a confirmation here like a sharp impulse and a correction, then the price has the tendency to continue to go down, make a pullback. If you see the price making a pullback here, then this is gonna go and break the low one more time. So depending on the price action, we'll wait our next move. If we see the price ranging here, then most likely we will break the low again. If not, if you get a sharp bullish impulse followed by a small consolidation, then we expect the price to go again and break the top. Moving on to Euro USD. Last week we were expecting Euro USD to break this low here. We were in the small flag when we recorded the stream last week, and we expected the price to break down once more and start a corrective structure. As it stands right now, the price looks like it corrected. So right now, what I'm expecting is a reaction from this level. I'm gonna mark it for you on the chart. I'm gonna wait for a reaction on this area here. If we don't get a reaction, which means bearish reaction here, followed by a small pullback, then I'm gonna think that the price will go on and break this top again. So if you don't get a move like this, then most likely we'll go back up and break the top again before dropping. Then I'm gonna expect the market to fall from that level. If not, wait for your price action again. If you don't get, wait for the level first to get, wait for the price to feel this imbalance here. Then wait for a reaction, and if you don't get that reaction, then most likely the price will continue to go up. Moving on to Pound USD. Similar to Euro USD, last week we were expecting the price to break the trend line and consolidate underneath and give us a bearish reaction. As it stands, it's making a deeper consolidation here. I don't think we'll break the low. I'm not too sure about it right now, because the way this is looking, it can continue correcting, going back up, and then similar to Euro USD, I'm gonna wait for a reaction in this area. If we don't get a bearish reaction around that level, uh, I'm gonna expect the market to correct and then go for one more to make one more higher high in this area before dropping. For now, for this week, I think the price will correct and then go back up to break the top once more. If the DXY as well has the tendency to go and break the low, then most likely all the majors will Euro USD and Pound USD will go up and break the top again. Moving on to Dollar Yen. Dollar Yen last week we were expecting a consolidation to form and continue to make higher highs. As it stands right now, as you can see from the previous week, the market is correcting. We forecasted these corrections. We were expecting the price to get a bit messy around this area and around these levels. And right now, if we look at what the price is doing, I'm expecting the market to push back up and reach this first imbalance zone, like we forecasted 2 weeks ago, I think, or last week. We forecasted the price to reach this first level and wait for a reaction here. If we don't get a reaction, meaning an impulse correction from this level, then I think that the price will go up towards this second area, and then we're going to wait again for a reaction. But if we will see here the price making a consolidation, then most likely we'll go back up. If the impulse is sharp, breaking this previous higher low, higher low, sorry, and get a correction, then most likely we'll continue to drop. If not, if we don't get this reaction, I'm expecting the market to pull back up. But wait for this level first to be reached, and then expect your reaction and don't jump in. Moving on to Australian dollar versus the US dollar. Last week we forecasted this correction to occur, and we were waiting for this move to happen. So we got this move, and the way it looks right now, I'm expecting the price to give us a sign of a continuation, or if we'll change the trend locally and go back and break the top. Meaning that if we get a range here, a sideways move, this will mean that most likely we'll continue to go down towards this level here. If not, if the price spikes up, corrects, then this will most likely go on and break the top, and this will become a complex pattern along the way. So as it looks this week, we have a tendency to correct as well, to continue the corrections from the previous week. But if we get some reactions, we're definitely gonna take them. Moving on to dollar CAD. Last week we were expecting the price to continue to go up and reach this level here. Let me highlight it for you again. This level here was reached as we forecasted. We were expecting a pullback. We also updated our idea on USD CAD last week, which we were expecting to reach this level, the 62 level on the chart, and then as you can see on the second picture, we are now expecting a pullback to reach this area here. So let me go back to the chart to explain to you in detail. Right now, I'm expecting the price to give us a correction this week. I think the correction will take all the week at least. And then we can expect further bullish continuation. If we get this correction here, personally, I'm not going to trade this one this week because it could get a bit messy, and I don't like to trade corrections. But if we get this pattern here, then I'm most likely going to go with the buy. Also, a good area to watch right now would be this level for a reaction. So we have to wait and see what happens when we reach this level and how the pattern will look at that moment in time. So this one I would advise you to have a bit more patience with it, wait for the correction to finish. I won't advise you personally, I won't trade the downside in this one. I will let it finish what it is doing, because it could continue to crawl and break the top and then give us this pullback. So for me, I'm gonna patiently wait for this move to happen, and then I'm gonna go with the buy if we get a reaction. Let me go back to the chat. Okay. Moving on to gold. Last week we were expecting gold to make a consolidation and then drop towards the trend line. As you can see, I have this level highlighted on the chart here. So like I said, if we reach the trend line, I'm gonna wait for a bullish reaction followed by a consolidation, as you can see from this drawing here. The price reached the trend line, went back up, but it didn't went in an impulsive manner, so that made me think that it might go back one more time. And as it stands, if you let me delete these drawings here so I can explain better to you guys, just a second. Personally, I leave these drawings so we can analyze the price movements from last week, so it will be easier for all of us to focus on what's important, so I don't miss anything along the week. So right now, what I'm expecting for gold is to make here a consolidation, like it is doing right now, a range, to create a range, go back for one more drop, and then I'm gonna be looking for a buy setup. If we reach this level here and we don't get a buy setup, then we can, depending on the price action, if we get a range again, then most likely we'll drop. But if we get a strong bullish impulse followed by a pullback, then most likely we'll go up and break the top again, because we are in a big daily uptrend here. So this is only a correction. I don't think this will drop below 90, 40, 90, 50, even 90, 20 if you ask me, in a worst case scenario. So for gold, I'm biased for the upside. We're gonna leave the price to finish the correction right now, and then I'm gonna check the price action when we will break the low again and see if it's worth to go in a buy. Moving on to silver. Last week, similar with gold, silver, I was expecting a correction. As it happened, we were inside this level here. We got another breakout, then another pullback, broke the low, another pullback, and now the price is moving pretty messy. So what I'm expecting right now is the correction to continue. This one is messy, is very messy, messier than gold even. So what I'm expecting here is the market to make something like this before going back up and breaking the top. Similar to gold, silver is in a big bullish trend on the daily and on the weekly as well. We also have here a nice area to watch, an imbalance, which I will expect to be filled if you ask me. And from this level here, I'm going to be looking for my buy setups. If we reach this level, I'm going to wait for a reaction towards the upside, which means an impulse, a correction, and then a break of the top, creating a new higher high on the daily. Moving on to US oil. Last week we were expecting US oil to enter a corrective phase and then make one more push towards the upside. This correction here got more deeper than we were expecting it to happen. Personally, I was expecting a smaller correction, then a breakout and make a new higher high here before going into something deep like I drawn here, but it didn't happen. The correction started to get a bit deeper, and right now what I'm going to be looking at is consolidation inside the consolidation, maybe reach this area, then drop one more time, break the low, and then go back up towards maybe the 90 level to test the $90 level. So personally, this week I think US oil will consolidate, maybe also in the beginning of next week. So most likely we'll get this bullish wave in May, in my opinion. If the structure develops like this, it could take a while. So for US oil, I'm not gonna trade it right now. I'm gonna wait for a reaction around this level that I highlighted. And then if somehow we get a sell setup from here, then I might be interested in it. If not, I'm gonna leave it do its thing, maybe drop one more time, and then if we get a reaction, then basically we'll notify you and go with the buy. Moving on to natural gas. Last week we were expecting natural gas to correct because we gapped up. If I remember correctly, I was expecting a correction and then another move up. The way it is looking at the moment, I'm still not too sure about it because even though this is very impulsive, I will stay away a bit because this could come, break the top again, drop one more, and then go back up. So if this happens, then yes, I'm gonna go with the trade, with the buy. If not, there is a second scenario that I'm gonna look for a buy setup in it. If you bear with me for a second. So if this pattern here comes back up, then drops, then again, this is a valid pattern for the buy setups. So keep an eye out if you get this correction before going into any trades. Very important to be patient and don't over risk. Wait for the market to finish what it is doing before jumping in. Yeah, hello guys, happy to have you here. Yeah, we're gonna look at copper as well. I think it was XCU, if I remember correctly. Okay, so let's go on the daily for copper, or even on the weekly. Let me delete all the drawings. Oh, the copper on the weekly looks in a pretty nice uptrend here. We got an impulse up, correction, another impulse up, and then a sharp drop, which I might think that this is a part of a consolidation. After this drop here, you can see we started to make a local uptrend, making new higher highs. And right now, as it stands, I can see the price making another drop and then continue to go back up on the weekly. Let me delete all these things so we can go down on the daily. So as I said, on the weekly, it looks like we have one more push towards the downside before going back up. So if you get here a nice range, which could happen most likely, then we'll go down and break this low. Moving on to the 4 hours, let me delete all the drawings. Moving on to the 4 hours, as it stands, let me zoom out a bit. As it stands right now, we had this trend line here. Let me draw it correctly here. We had this trend line here which was broken, and this makes me think that the next move will be, like I said on the daily, it will be towards the downside, because we also have some divergence on the MACD. If you look at the MACD, you will see what I'm talking about. We have some divergence here between this the last two tops. Sorry about that. Okay, so as you can see, if you compare the prices, the tops, the higher highs between each other, you can see that we have divergence on the MACD. So this is a good indication that we'll go down from here, but not without correcting. I will expect a correction, a pullback, and then one more drop. Maybe breaking this low. Like I said on the daily, we need to break this low again. And then I'm going to be looking for my buy setups. Buy setups meaning impulse, strong impulse in your direction, correction, and then continuation. So this is my forecast on the copper on the 4 hours. Let me know if that is okay with you. Hello? Yeah, for gas, second scenario as well. I'm thinking about that as well. I don't know if it will break the top and then drop, but most likely I think it will continue to go push back down one more leg and then giving you a buy setup. That's my take on it. Hello, hello. How are you? Do you have any request, Tomasola, to look at any pair before I continue to go with the indices? So let me know if you want to cover something for you before I move on. Oh, okay, DXY. Let's go on DXY. On the DXY, just a second. DXY last week, as you know, I was expecting to continue the price to continue going up, making a correction going up, and then continue correcting. And as it stands, we got that move towards the upside. And now let me delete all these things here so you can see the chart better. Just a second, please. So let's make a short recap on the DXY. On the DXY last week, I was expecting here the price to, oh, come on, sorry about that. I was expecting here the price to correct, make one more push up, then correct again and make another top. So as it stands, the market went back up, made a new top, but now as it looking, it's making a correction for another move up. But I won't be jumping in right away, because this has also a tendency to go lower than that. This is very important here, because the price action could tell us the next move. If we get a range inside this level, then we'll most likely go back down and eventually breaking the low. Another area to watch would be this zone here for a potential reaction, but I'll be a bit cautious, to be honest with you. If the price reaches this level and continues to correct, then most likely we'll continue to go down. If not, if we'll get a reaction from here or a bit lower, which means bullish impulse correction, then most likely we'll continue to go up and break this top. If not, let the market do whatever it wants. I will not be selling it from here, because of the way this started. It started in a messy manner, and on the bigger picture, I'm expecting a move up on the DXY. So speaking of Euro USD and Pound USD, which are very reliant on the DXY, both of them I'm expecting to break the top, which means that the DXY will go and break the low. And then I'm gonna expect a bullish impulse. But if we get a reaction here, break the previous higher high after we drop once more and get a pullback, then I'm gonna have a look at it and consider buying it. But for now, let it be for a while. Don't jump in. Okay, so let's move on to the indexes. Last week for SPX, for S&P 500, I was expecting the price to correct and make a new top here and continue to go up in a messy manner. As it stands, it's doing the thing that we forecasted. Similar to last week, I'm gonna let the price do its thing and continue to go up and break this top located here at the red arrow. So S&P, I think, will hit 4,200 level. this week or at the beginning of next week on the 4-hour chart. And afterwards, we'll have more information to share with you. Moving on to Nasdaq. For Nasdaq, I was expecting two scenarios last week. As you can see, we were in the middle of a corrective structure after that sharp impulse up that we had here. So as it stands right now, I'm expecting the price to move correctively, having a possibility to shoot up and break this top here. But also, I'm I'm gonna keep in mind that there's a possibility that we'll correct inside this area and go for one more drop, because here the correction, in my opinion, is not complete. Even though it can continue to go up from here and break the top, for me this is not a complete pattern. I would personally like to see the price drop, break this low before looking for my buy setups. So yeah, for me Nasdaq it's a no-no this week. The way it looks, only if it breaks this low here, the red line. If not, I'm gonna leave it go up. Don't want to be caught in a messy situation. So best to wait for a reaction after it breaks this low here inside the correction. Dow Jones. Dow Jones is moving exactly as we were expecting it to move. A consolidation. We were expecting a consolidation for all the indexes last week, and right now the way it is looking. Let me delete these drawings. The way it is looking right now, I think it might drop one more time before going back up. So keep an eye on this one. If it makes here a pullback, then we'll get one more drop before going back up. We have also some nice liquidity here to grab. We have this level first, then we have another level inside this area. Let me change the color. So first reaction, I'm gonna be waiting on the 4-hour blue order block, and then if we decide to go lower, then this zone will be another area that I'm gonna watch. So for DXY, again, similar to Nasdaq, I'm gonna be waiting for it to make one more drop, give me something clear, and then I'm gonna make my mind to if we go with the buy or not. Moving on to the crypto market. Last week we were expecting, as you can see on my chart, we were expecting a consolidation, a small consolidation, in fact, and then a break of the top again to continue making higher highs. And as it stands, the market corrected deeper than expected. Didn't give us the previous the breakout that we were talking about earlier. And as it stands, I'm gonna wait on Bitcoin to make here a consolidation and then drop one more time. But before this drop, I'm gonna be a bit careful with this one, because this consolidation can turn out to be a trending consolidation, which means that it can continue to go messy, and then go and break this top here. So for this week, I'm gonna expect a corrective move towards the upside for Bitcoin. I'm not gonna go further than that. So a good area to watch if we'll get the consolidation would be this zone here, the red zone, and from there we're gonna see if we get a reaction towards the downside. Even so, this could fall from this level here and then start this move that I'm talking about before going back down again. But doesn't matter for this week. I'm gonna stay away for the cryptos. I'm gonna see if we get a reaction. I'm expecting a small bullish reaction here, and then we're gonna analyze the price action to see if we get the sell or if we continue to go up. By the way, this will only be a correction on the bigger time frame. I'm not suggesting that this will drop. I'm pretty bullish right now on the cryptos, but at the same time we have to be careful because a deeper correction is needed. If you look on the daily, we had this strong impulse up, correction, another impulse up, and I'm expecting a correction similar to this one to occur here before going back up and breaking this top on the daily time frame. So that's why I'll be a bit careful, and I'm gonna wait for a pullback, maybe a pullback similar to this one, with what we had here on this in this level inside here. So we have to wait and see on the 4 hours, because we don't know yet which way we're gonna go next. So that's why I'm expecting a bigger consolidation. Moving on to Ether, similar to Bitcoin, we were expecting consolidation and then another break of the top. Market corrected deeper than we expected, and we didn't get our buy setup. As it stands, similar with Bitcoin, Ether, I'm expecting it to correct here, reach this zone, and then watch the price action to see if we get a reaction for one more drop. This, like I said, for Bitcoin, similar to Bitcoin, this is only a correction that will act as a trigger in the future for another push up, if you ask me. So let me delete these drawings, leave it like this. Similar, so to sum it up, for Ether, similar with Bitcoin, bullish reaction inside the correction. Then I'm gonna wait for the price action to tell us the next story. Moving on to BNB. Same, we were expecting a small consolidation here before going back up. The correction got deeper, and right now, as it stands, this one can get a bit messier than the other twos. As you can see, we have some divergence between these two tops here. So this is a good indication that this might continue to go down. So if this goes back up and then drops, that wouldn't be a surprise for me before continuing its uptrend. So BNB, this is my expectation for it this week. Bearish scenario. So that should be all for today. Let me know if you have any more requests with other pairs if you want me to look at. Also, if you have any questions related to trading, I'm gonna be sitting here for a few more minutes to answer it to you guys. So hit me with your questions, please. So basically, this week, similar to last week, to sum it up, the whole pairs, all the pairs that we looked at, I'm expecting a corrective week ahead. So when is the right time to buy crypto? Well, the right time to buy crypto is to wait for this consolidation to happen, because if you jump in, for example, if you jump in on this in this area here, you won't buy it at a good price, because if this continues, let's say you put a buy order on Bitcoin and the price continues to go down towards the 25k level, you'll miss almost 10%, of the price of your returns. Why do that instead of waiting for a correction and then buy it from a cheaper price? That's why I would expect to leave the price to correct here and then wait for another drop, because this has to correct on the daily. Like I said, the bull market is pretty strong right now, started from the end of last year, and I'm expecting a bit more corrections inside this area. So best to wait to break the low, maybe reach the 25k level, 25k level for Bitcoin. This is only an example, don't get me wrong. And then look for it if you get a setup to buy it, because you'll buy it at a cheaper price and you'll get a bigger risk to reward. You'll not be sweating on the trade if it goes against you. So right now I'm not able to tell you when exactly, but let's wait for a couple more weeks or a few more weeks to see how the structure will develop here. Personally, I won't buy them right now, because if you look on the daily, like I said, look at how strong this impulse is. Why buy it at the top here, instead when I can buy it from a lower level and get a nicer return, and I'm gonna and my nerves will not be all over the place if I see red on the account. So best to have a bit of patience in this regard. Yeah, they definitely will go back up, but very important to watch the price action and wait for the pullbacks to finish, because most of the traders lose their money because they don't wait for the structure to finish, and they jump in, they FOMO in everything, and after after 2-3 trades that they end up losing, eventually the price goes in their direction. Funny how that works. So why is that? Because they basically don't have patience. And don't get me wrong, I've been there a long time ago, and it was a pretty a pretty struggle to cope with, you know, after I managed to control my emotions and be more patient and reliant on those corrections to finish, you know. You know, it was they said at some point, I don't know how it was. It was like better to not be in a trade than to wish you didn't take that trade, you know. It's better like that. So that's why you need to have patience to wait for those pullbacks, and then the reaction is very important. Don't jump in blindly expecting the pullback to be over, because you might get surprises along the way. So yeah, word of advice: work on your patience and wait for reaction, and be disciplined, because it's not good to end up losing. You know, be selective. That's the best advice: to be selective and don't uh, don't jump in anything that you think it will go in your direction, because that's not the case. Even though if you end up losing a trade, but if that trade was 100% respected your plan and your strategy, then that's okay. The losses are part of the game. But instead of losing 3 or 4 trades, better to lose one trade, even if it takes out 1% of your account, you know. So very important to have these things in mind. There are a lot of things that we as traders need to focus on, you know, very important stuff. Emotional, basically emotional, because if you have a trading strategy, then because everyone has a trading strategy, most of us have a trading strategy, but what drags us into losses are the emotions. That's the most important thing to handle and the toughest part of trading. Let me know if you guys have anything you want to cover, so we can end the stream. So another quick update. I'm expecting a few corrections to happen this week. Personally, I don't see any trade setup that will make me think that okay, I'm gonna go for it. One that I will look after will be the USD CAD. I'm gonna go on USD CAD again. I'm gonna wait for this correction to occur, and then I'm gonna be looking for this buy setup, but only if this correction happens here and a reaction afterwards. If not, I'm gonna let the price do its job, and then I'm gonna be focusing on something else. So also the majors, especially Euro USD, Pound USD, if they break the top, then I'm gonna be looking for a sell setup from that level as a correction in the bigger time frame. But other than that, I don't see anything cooking right now. Also, the oil has potential for a nice trade setup if this happens this week, but I'm not too sure about it, because usually corrections take a lot of time to complete. So we might not get any setups this week. In either case, I'm gonna regularly post an analysis for a pair later this week on our TradingView profile. So if you want to stay up to date with our analysis as well as educational stuff, I invite you to follow us if you want. And we're gonna constantly post trade setups here, analysis with updates and so on. So don't hesitate and follow us if you want. Okay, Nifty. Let's have a look at Nifty. Is this a good chart to watch, or do you want me to go on another broker? Let me know if this is okay. This one. So I'll presume that this is the one that you're talking about. Nifty on the daily, the way it looks, I'm expecting it to continue to go up, because we have a nice strong bullish impulse here, followed by a decent consolidation, a very nice consolidation, and then we got our reaction from here and made another top, which also broke an important level. If you look on the chart, this level here was broken, and as it stands on the daily, let me delete all these drawings first so you can see clear. And as it stands right now, this, I think it will continue to go up. I'm expecting here a pullback of some sort and then continue the uptrend. if you ask me on the daily. Also on the weekly, it looks the same, like it will go up. I don't know if it will break this top or not. We have to take it step by step. I don't want to jump in too far off on the chart because it's very hard to forecast that much in advance. And I would personally like to focus on the next move and not the move that will happen after, I don't know, a lot of time. So next move on the daily for Nifty, I'm expecting this correction to finish here. Maybe you get a range and then continue to make one more tap at least. And afterwards, if you want, we can update you next week to see if something happens. So let's go on the 4-hour time frame. On the 4-hour time frame, as you can see, strong bullish impulse, consolidation, and another move up. I don't know if this will go sharply like that, this move up that I'm expecting. It could make here a small pullback and then push up again. So that's my expectation on Nifty for the 4-hour chart. Good. So okay guys, with that being said, I'm gonna end the stream. We'll see you guys next week on Monday to analyze the trades that we discussed about, the charts, and also see what opportunities we'll get in the coming week. So until then, trade with care, stay safe, and I hope you guys will have a nice trading week and a profitable one.